Hi guys, I hope you're all doing good and I hope the preparation for mains was exciting as well as challenging. To all my students who are writing mains, one thing what I want to make it clear is the efforts that you put in the last 3 months, the sweat that you put in the last 3 months have made you something that you were not before. The character that you have built, the person that you are were something that you were not before. It is going to change and it is going to change for good. So enjoy this experience and make sure that you relish every second of that mains examination. Now in this context, I just want to tell you a poem that is written by Rudyard Kipling that very well matches to your context as well as your situation. The poem is as it goes: if you fill an unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it. So if I have to put it in your context, the unforgiving minute is the 3 hours of test that you will have in the mains exam, and 60 seconds worth of distance run means that every second there matters and you have to be at your peak to make sure that you achieve what you're aspiring for in that 3 hours. So if you can do that, if you can make sure that the unforgiving 3 hours, if you can endure it, if you can manage it, then everything that is there for you to take in this exam is yours and no one can stop it. So I hope this poem inspires you to do and execute exactly what you have in your mind on the day of the exam. This video is not only to inspire you, to motivate you, but to just give you the final pointers to keep it in your mind so that you make sure that you do your mains exam very well. I am proud of all my students. They are from IIM or otherwise. They were very good. They were very focused and the efforts that they were able to put was tremendous. So I am proud of you people. The first thing that I want you to do is your attitude. Please, I know that you people are tired. I know that you people are putting a lot of efforts, but one thing what you should not forget is the opportunity that you have got to write this mains exam. I keep telling my students that the difference between those sincere students who couldn't make it to the prelims and you people who made it to the prelims was a matter of just 2 questions. Those 2 questions went for you and the 2 questions went against for them, and hence they could not write and you people could write. So the opportunity that you have got is a God-given gift, and please look it as an opportunity. Don't look it as a burden. When you do that, that will not make you feel like you just want to get it over with. You want to enjoy every minute of it, and that makes the difference. And hence your attitude towards this exam is very, very important, and that's the first thing that you have to do if you have to go to this exam. The second thing is the last week for the mains exam. I would want you not to worry too much about your optionals, but make sure that you are there in the universe of general studies. So basically keep your general studies notes ready and keep revising them again and again and again. One more thing what I want you to do is keep going through the list of keywords. Every section has its own keywords. If you take geography, it has its own keywords, society has its own keywords, international relations has its own keywords, polity governance has its own keywords, social justice has its own keywords, so is the economy, environment, science and technology, internal security and disaster management. So basically what you should have is a 2-sheet or 3-sheet list of keywords for every section, and those keywords are very, very important, and make sure that you keep revisiting your notes again and again and again and be in the GS or general studies universe for the last 1 week, and this is very, very important. The third is knowing that mains exam is all about doing simple things right. It is not about becoming a hero. It is not about creating a differential in every question that you write. It is making sure that you do simple things right. What are the simple things that you have to do right there is make sure that you finish the paper, make sure that your content is average or above average and your presentation is always above average, and make sure that every question is treated by its merit. Do not worry about impressing the examiner just because you know some content very well. Do not worry about not knowing that question and hence you have to let go of that question. Don't worry about anything. Just treat the question by its merit. What is the question by its merit? The question by its merit is a 10 marker is of 7 minutes and a 15 marker is of 11 minutes, and that is what a question's merit is. So treat every question on its merit. Make sure that you do your justice for that 7 minutes or 11 minutes and then move on. Don't dwell on any question more than the merit that it demands for. If you do that, you're going to compromise on every paper. So make sure that you are very, very focused on the time allotment on every questions. The next is make sure that you handle yourself well, because it is not going to be just one day of exam. It is going to be a series of exam that is going to run for 3 days, and after that there is going to be a 5 days gap, and then you are going to have your optional as well as compulsory paper. So you have to make sure that you maintain yourself well, both your physical as well as mental health. So that plays an important role. So one thing at the end of the day is mains is not about doing exceptionally well compared to the others at all. It is about doing simple things right. And if you can get that done, you have won the game there itself. One mantra that you should have in your mind is one question at a time, one section at a time, one paper at a time. Don't try to overrun, don't try to be over ambitious, don't try to over analyze. Keep it simple and just make sure that one question at a time, one section at a time, and one paper at a time. Treat it like that. When you're doing paper 1, don't worry about paper 2. When you're doing paper 2, don't worry about paper 3. When you're doing general studies, don't worry about your optionals. When you're doing essay, don't worry about the next exam, that is GS1 on the next day. Don't do that. Stay in that particular moment. Enjoy the moment. Make sure that you give your best, and that is how winning is done. The next is content. Don't be overwhelmed with the amount of content to be put in an answer. Don't do that. That happens. The art to impress an examiner with the content and knowledge that you have will be overwhelming in the exam, but don't let it take over you. Always make sure that content along with presentation matters, and make sure that you balance your content with presentation, and don't overemphasize one over the other. Make sure every question will be treated on its merit, and every question will have its own relevant content as well as its own best presentation that you can present it with. Mains is a game of precision. Why I tell you this is, I will take two analogies. One is a race car driver. The race car driver, when the race is going on, every second, forget the second, every fraction of a second matters. In the fraction of a second, the calculation goes to 1,000th of a second. So that bare minimum time also matters for a race car driver. And on the other side, if I take a surgeon, every inch of his or her action matters. If the surgeon tears the skin 1 inch greater than what is required, then there is a lot of complications that the patient will have to undergo. Now, you as a mains aspirant have to balance both these skills. One, you have to maintain your time with precision. Your actions should be very, very measured. So balancing both is what is about mains exam. You have to make sure that your actions are simple, your actions are to the demand of the question. However, you should also make sure that your time does not run out. You allot your time perfectly and precisely, so that every question is dealt with on the context of what relevance and demand that question is asking for. That is all is what is mains. So make sure that you handle your time and make sure that your actions are on par with the demand of the question and nothing else and nothing more. The next is the concept of warm-up paper. These warm-up papers are list of questions that you have made on your own, and this warm-up paper is done for all GS1, GS2, GS3, GS4 as well as optional 1 and optional 2. What is the importance of this is, before you enter the exam hall, once you have to sit and look at the warm-up paper and then recollect the answer for those warm-up questions. So by recollecting the answer for those warm-up questions, you are going to get into that paper 1 or paper 2 or paper 3, paper 4 relevant universe. The reason why this is important is, every paper has its own language. GS1 has its own paper specific language, so does GS2, GS3 and GS4 as well as your optionals. So when you are going into GS1, if you want to gear up for that GS1 specific language, then your warm-up papers will help you to gear up for that specific language. And for that, these warm-up questions are very, very important. One more thing is, in this warm-up questions, along with this warm-up questions, I want you to also look at all the keywords that you have section-wise created the notes 1 hour before you go into the exam. That is, for example, if you're going into polity or if you're going to GS2 exam, I want you to see the list of keywords for polity, governance, social justice and international relation before you go into that exam, because that list of keywords will help you to know how to bring different dimensions and different perspectives in that questions that are asked. So warm-up questions as well as your section-wise keywords are very, very important 2 or 3 hours before you enter the exam, to make sure that you gear up for that paper specific language. Lastly, the optional paper. You will have 5 days of time to revise your optionals. But in that 5 days of time, don't speculate about your GS papers. Don't worry about your GS papers. Don't worry about your performance. Don't worry about how others have done the performance in their GS papers. Please make sure that you're focused on your optionals. Along with this, take care of your health, sleep better, because those 3 days of essay, GS1, GS2 and GS3, GS4 would have taken a lot from you. So you need to recover yourself, and you need to give 100% in that optional paper, and for that you need to have good sleep and good food. Finally, for the optional paper, the 5 days of rest that you will have, you would have to revise at least for 2 times and maximum for 3 times before you go to that optional paper. So please make sure that you at least do 3 cycles of revisions for your optionals before you enter that optional all. If you do that, you'll be very confident, and the depth that you will bring in every topic of optionals will be greater, and you'll get much better marks if you can do at least 3 cycles of revisions in that 5 days. Finally, what matters at the end of the day is execution. Everyone has worked hard, everyone has been sincere, everyone has been sweating it out, but what matters is execution. On the day of the match, if a cricketer does not score runs, doesn't matter. On the day of the race, if the race driver does not win, it doesn't matter. So it is all about execution, and on the day of the mains exam, maintain your composure, be calm, be focused, know your time, manage your time better, and no one can stop you. Do the simple things right, guys. If you can keep doing the simple things right again and again and again for every paper, then that is what is needed for succeeding in this mains exam. So I hope you people are ready. I believe in you. It is time that you start believing in yourself. Never doubt yourself or your abilities. You people have been wonderful. The amount of efforts that you have put has been tremendous, and we are all proud of you already. So go there, do it, and get what you're aspiring for. I'll meet you after mains, guys. I hope that I am already proud of you, and I hope you are proud of yourself. I'll meet you again. All the very best for the mains exam. I wish you all a very, very greatest of luck. Please execute this exam to the bare precision, and I know that no one can stop you from succeeding. I'll meet you again, guys. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Bye.